The trailer, it's a big trailer. It's like I said. I think I described it more in detail before. It's like gonna be about 3 to 4 minutes. But my last update was about a month ago, so I thought I should at least just give a quick update. And I actually have statistics for you. I'm so prepared and organized. So the first part of the trailer is it's 8 different shots of gameplay, and we have 6 of them done. And 1 is really close to being done, so I should finish that today. And we just have rough recordings done, since some of the art is still being worked on, like as I'm preparing the shots and everything. So once all the art's done, then I do like a finalized recording. So first I do a rough recording of each shot, and then I cut it all together, make sure it all looks good, see if I need to like lengthen or like shorten any of the shots, and then then I do the final recording. And the final recording, like I said, has all the finished art. And so I give you a quick progress update on the art. By the way, this is probably what people wanted during the Kickstarter, like actual statistics about like things that need to be done and that are done. But anyway, that's in the past. It was too crazy to be able to handle it at that time. I guess since I'm working by myself, well, with one other guy, it's like way easier to manage stuff. Just gonna look at the comments real quick. No, the game's not just Mario crossover with an original, or with a better coat of paint. The reason I'm spending so much time on the trailer is because I want to show you guys what, kind of like what we want the game to be eventually, and then, because we will be starting out more like Super Mario crossover. We're gonna keep releasing more and more stuff. So the trailer's there to show you like what the big plan is, but like we'll be doing stuff in steps. So the first step will look more like Super Mario crossover, but we'll be showing you what we have in mind after that and like what we have planned for later. But we're making it so that like it's easy to do. We're starting with what we know. And I like making videos and stuff, and like I said, it's kind of like a little almost like a short film. Let's see. Yeah, and I'll give you an update on like the art and like music stuff that still needs to be done. So almost all the characters have been redesigned by the new artist. In my opinion, they look better, and one of them he kept the same just because he liked the original. But the guy I'm working with now has like 15, I think he said 15 years of experience in pixel art. Oh, somebody asked how Iggy's doing. It's very nice of you to ask that. She's okay. She used to work like really close by, but then she got the place that she worked, like they transferred buildings, so now she has to drive farther to work, so she's a little stressed out about that, but it's okay. Excuse me for 1 second. Sorry, it was really hot in here. Yeah, thanks for asking about her. And then, okay, so I was talking about the redesigned characters. Yeah, I mean, like once we release the trailer, then I'll talk like way more openly about everything, and then you'll know like who the other guy is that I'm working with. but I figured it's just good to give an update anyway, just to so you know it's still getting done and stuff. And we do have one. Somebody was asking me about the characters yesterday. I can't remember if I told you guys this before, but one of the characters is new. It's a character that wasn't in Super Mario Crossover, and it's we replaced Lonzo because Lonzo was basically just Mario, or basically the same as Manny. I mean, so we replaced Lonzo with another Mario-ish character, but more different. Have we made a character not based on a Nintendo character? Not right now. We might do that later. And we already have, like I said, it's a really long-term plan, but we do already have other characters planned that aren't in Super Mario Crossover. So we're doing all of the non-clone characters from Super Mario Crossover. So we're not doing Luigi or Bass, because they were basically just clones of Mario and Mega Man. So everyone else will return in like their new form or whatever. The only character that we haven't actually worked on yet, and that you're not going to see footage of, is the character based on Sophia the Third. Kind of just because I didn't want the trailer to be super long, because we're showing 8 different worlds, and so I just didn't feel like that character was as, Sophia's not as well known as the other characters. We still plan on having our version of the character was named Eve 7. We still plan on having that character in the game, but just not showing it yet. All the other ones you'll see. Okay, so when are we releasing the game? Like I said, this is like a what we're doing. It's interesting. Okay, this isn't just like a normal game that we just put out. My favorite thing about Super Mario Crossover was that like we were really involved with the community, so I would like do updates and kind of get feedback, and so we're sort of doing a similar thing here. So there wouldn't really be a way to say like when the game is done, just because there's like different parts that are going to be coming at different times, and they'll still be complete things. You'll see. I'll explain it all in like hopefully in like 2 weeks or so. The trailer will be released. I notice I always say things will be done in 2 weeks. I don't know, I guess that's like, it's hard to see past 2 weeks in the future, and we're definitely closer now. So I was saying we have like two more shots to finish, which means I'm writing a little bit of like custom code for the trailer, so that it's sort of like an interactive, like if you're playing a game and there's like a scripted cutscene, like you're playing, but there's like another character that like interacts with you like that. I just have to program a little bit of custom stuff for the behavior of the trailer, but for only one more shot. The other one's basically done, it's just not recorded. I guess I should, after we release the trailer, I'll be more public with this, and I should actually schedule a live stream, because I'm getting there's like 3 or 4 people in the chat. Well, I guess there's 15 people watching, but I'm already getting a lot of questions. So how about after we release the trailer and you kind of like see stuff, I should start scheduling the live streams So then you guys, yeah, this is a big cup. Okay, I'll say this about cups real quick, because I gotta comment on the cup. I really like cups where I can hold it, where all four of my fingers like fit into the handle really nicely. I hate cups where the handle's too small and like one of my fingers is like out. So that's one of the reasons I have a big cup, and because I like to drink a lot of liquid. There's more in it. Sorry, that was an interruption. But yeah, I guess the longer I go, the more people start watching. So after we release the trailer, I will reveal like a lot of stuff, and then we can schedule a live stream so that you guys are asking me a lot of questions right now. Then you'll know when I'm gonna do the live stream. You can ask me the questions, and I'll just like sit there and answer the ones that I can. Obviously, I don't want to like tell you stuff that you don't want to know, because you want to be like, most people want to be surprised when they play a game. My wife is actually different in that she likes to know everything before she like watches a movie. It's really weird, because she always wants to know stuff and I don't want to know anything. So it's strange to me. I think most people are more like me, where you don't want to know because you want to be surprised. But I guess let me just look at some more of these questions. Okay, first, when are we releasing the first version? So it's like really hard to estimate stuff, but I want to release the first, so early access. The first version is going to be early access. Excuse me. I want to do that like, I think, since for early access it doesn't like have to be like done. Like it has to be, you have to have like all the elements in, but they don't have to be like polished. I'm hoping we can do early access like 2 months after the trailer comes out. So let's just assume, for the sake of simplicity, that the trailer comes out on February 1st. So then I guess I would try to get into early access by like April. Or that's probably being too nice though. So you should really just, whenever I tell you a date, you should add on like 1 or 2 months, I guess. So April, let's say April at the earliest, but if we're being more realistic, probably like May or June. I actually want to start, I want to get on early access as soon as possible, because then we'll be making some money off the game and I won't be like dying financially. So, by the way, like, oh, I should mention this other thing. So I know I know the game hasn't been like released or anything, but I've like changed the name that I talk about it with. I changed the name again. Okay, sorry, but the name that we have now is awesome and it's memorable. There's no generic words in the title. And I've already started the process of trademarking the new name, which costs over $1,000. So I'm not changing the name anymore. But it's not called Super Retro Crossover. And the reason I changed it is because I always kind of wanted it to be a series, and Super Retro Crossover is sort of like a generic name, and it's hard to imagine, I don't know, other things based on it. Like, what if we want to eventually like have a movie or something, or a comic? Would you want to read a comic called Super Retro Crossover? Or would you go to see, or would you watch the Super Retro Crossover TV show? So I came up with a better name that's more like, it's more memorable, and it sounds cool. I think you'll like it. It doesn't have any generic words in the title. It doesn't have the word super. It doesn't have the word retro. It doesn't have the word action. Doesn't have the word squad. Doesn't have the word crossover. It's a unique name. And there's this, since I've had so much time to kind of like, just because I've been working on this game for a while, I had a lot of time to come up with a cool story. So the name incorporates one of the story elements, and the first shot in the trailer is going to be really like surprising, because it's going to look like you're seeing a normal game, but then all of a sudden all this crazy stuff's going to start happening, and that crazy thing that happens will be the first word in the title. Gerbil cosplay millennium, you guessed it. Man, guess I'm out $1,000. Man, I'm surprised. I'm kind of surprised at how many questions I'm getting. Are we adding any new power-ups? Again, I can't really... I'm not going to comment on gameplay because I think it's going to confuse people. I'll explain the whole process after the trailer comes out, like our release strategy. We're going to have a lot of... the whole idea about this game, like since even when I made Super Mario Crossover, was what's it like to play as a character from one game in another game. And that's like the entire premise of our new release strategy. So just, I don't really know what else to say about it right now. I'll just tell you what it is after the trailer comes out. But don't ask me any gameplay stuff right now, because I'm not gonna... It's gonna be too confusing to answer it. Are you planning on doing any more comedy videos? The trailer is actually kind of funny. There's some comedy in it. I've always been a huge fan of comedy. Yeah, I want to. We'll see. We'll see if this game takes off, then that should make it a lot easier to do a lot of things. Am I going to be doing a playthrough, like a playthrough series? Yeah, I think so. Maybe every time we release like a new part, I'll play what's there or something. Do you ever miss working as a relative unknown? I did before, when like when the Kickstarter stuff was like going downhill and like everything was getting kind of crazy, then yeah, I wished that no one knew who I was and I could just do whatever I wanted. But I don't really miss it anymore, because I think I've made peace with like what I do and what the world is, and like how the internet works and how you interact with communities and stuff. I think I'm looking at it a lot more realistically now, so I don't put like crazy insane pressure on myself. A lot of the reasons things went bad is just because I put too much pressure on myself. And now it's like, personally, I think this trailer I'm making is like awesome. I think it's like the best thing I've ever made, and I feel good about that just on its own. Like knowing that I think it's awesome is like good enough for me. Hopefully other people will think it's awesome, but if you guys say like, oh, it sucks, then I'll just be really confused. But what I mean is like, I guess it's just that I'm not, I don't have as many expectations of how people will react. Whereas before, I kind of feel like I needed people to react positively to what I was doing. Now it's more like, I'm doing this thing that I think is cool. And this is how when I originally made Super Mario Crossover, that's how I started out. It's just, I'm doing this thing that I think is cool, and I'm going to share it, and, you know, turn out other people thought it was cool. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm making something that I think is really cool, and the guy I'm working with thinks it's really cool. And we think other people will think it's cool too. You know, especially since people liked Super Mario Crossover, we're taking like that premise, you know, of going into other games, and we're taking it to the extreme and gonna be doing a lot of really cool stuff with it. Do you love making video games, or does it feel like a big hassle? It's sort of an interesting question because making video games is really complex. I love video games, so even though making them is kind of hard sometimes, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just really hard. So as long as I don't give, like I said, I don't give myself crazy expectations like, oh, I need to finish this like today or something. As long as I just kind of work at whatever pace works for me, then I enjoy it, because it is kind of fun once you kind of get used to what it's like how sometimes just like nothing will work, and like everything you're trying, like you just like having a bad day or something, everything you're trying to do is just like not working, or like, you know, I'll like plan, like maybe you start the day with some really a task that you think is going to be really easy, but it ends up taking you the entire day. So you just gotta get used to just kind of going with the flow. So I'm used to what making games is like. The way that I make games, other people might make games differently than me, and since I've been doing it for a while now, I know how I work, and that was another reason the whole Kickstarter thing didn't work out, is because I guess I was experimenting with different ways of making games, you know, like with a big team, like stuff like that. I know I work best when I'm just programming on my own, and I seem to work really well when I'm working with just one other person. So when I make games the way I want to make them, then I enjoy it. Will you add Lonzo back? I'm not gonna say. I was reading the comment and then realized it's very inappropriate. Oh my. Will there be Easter eggs? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. My favorite Easter egg that we put in Super Mario Crossover was the exploding rabbit logo. So, yeah. Give us a preview. No, you have to wait for the trailer. The thing is, I can't really explain this game because you just have to see it to understand what I'm doing. If I try to explain it to you, you're just gonna like be like, what? Like, I don't know, is that gonna work? Or like, is that a good idea? So it's better if you just see it, like see it all at once. The trailer is like, if I was able to like take my vision for the game and to show it to you, then that's what the trailer is. You get to see my vision. If I just tell you, then it's like, well, you know, you're not gonna be as like excited about it. So I really want people to be excited about, like as excited about this as I am. So that's why I'm making this cool thing to show you what we're doing. I'm just reading comments. Yeah, I should probably like figure out how to get the comments on the screen. I've seen other people do that. I really do enjoy live streaming, so I guess I'll constantly be improving the process. I just use my phone right now because it's just so much easier. Where did I get my blue shirt? That's a really good question. This is actually it's a company called Silver Air. They make shirts that have actually silver threads in them. And silver is antibacterial, so if any bacteria touches your shirt, it dies, at least if it touches one of the silver threads. The entire thing isn't silver. But it's really good for working out in, because when you sweat, the sweat doesn't smell, because the sweat goes into the shirt and then it kills the bacteria. So my shirt is science. But anyway, it's called Silver Air. Wait, is it? It's made by a company called Y Athletics, I think. I think it's called Silver Air. yeah, you have to have strong willpower to, just because making a game is such a long process. You got to keep going when things get hard. So yeah, willpower is probably really important, because I mean, sometimes things get so hard. Just like with that whole Kickstarter thing, it got so hard, and I don't really know what to say about it other than it gets really hard sometimes. So yeah, when you're making a game, expect to run into difficult times. For me, times that are so difficult that they like kind of test who you are as a person on like every level and push you harder than you ever thought you could be pushed. That's because I like moved into a house with a bunch of people to make the game, and most people probably wouldn't do that. So actually just making a game on your own isn't as risky, because you're not like putting yourself into like a difficult situation. But once you start, like if you become well known, then it gets a lot harder because then people are watching you. So like I said, I'm more used to that now. I think I got it now. Like I can just be myself. I don't have to try to be like super cool all the time or whatever. And I don't have to make it seem like I always know what's happening. It's like I plan stuff out, but like sometimes the plan has to change. And then I learned why companies aren't transparent. I still think more companies should be more transparent, but I learned, you don't want to be too transparent, and you don't want to be opaque, not transparent at all. So, but if you're so transparent, then it's going to seem like you're changing your mind all the time because you're always thinking of new ideas. And that's just how it works. If you want to make something like the best that it can be, you got to be open to things changing, because as you're working on something, you might even work on something for a long time, and then just out of nowhere you just realize like, oh man, it would be so much better if like I just did this instead. And then you're like, oh, should I throw away this work that I did? Well, it's like you got to make that call, based on whatever your requirements are or whatever. But you got to go with the flow. And that's the cool thing about this trailer too, is like as we worked on the trailer, I kept coming up with better and better ideas too. So now I think it's like really, it'll be a really nice viewing experience. Very smooth. It's not, I don't know, it'll be cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the upcoming game is one you will be able to sell. Yes. Yeah, this is like everything just started going perfect with this game, like since I met the guy that I'm working with. Like, because I always wondered like, well, how would I make it so I could sell Super Mario Crossover? Like we would have to like create all this stuff. It's like with this guy I'm working with, like I don't know, he's so good. I don't know what else to say about him. He's like really good at pixel art. He's really good at music. He's good at sound effects. He has a lot of experience with level design. So me and him have a completely opposite skill set. So I'm really good at programming now just because I've been doing it for so long. So, and we've come up with really good like game design ideas together too. Like we'll build off each other's ideas. You don't want to work with somebody who like doesn't like build on your ideas, who just like shoots down your ideas, because no one's ever gonna have like the perfect idea right away. So you want to work with somebody where like you're okay, like you put out an idea and maybe it sucks, maybe not, but you're just like, well, here's an idea, and the other person's like, well, I don't know about that idea, but what about this? And then it's like, oh, then so me and him are also on like the same wavelength, which is what I wanted for the the Kickstarter team, the team that I originally had. But finding someone that just like gets what you're trying to do is like really hard. Finding someone that gets it and is skilled enough to do it. So the only reason I'm not saying his name is because he didn't tell me to say his name yet, but I played, like, he has a game that's on Steam, and I played his game, and I was like, this is the guy that should make Super Retro Squad. Like, I could just tell when I played his game. It's like the language, I don't know, like, it's like the language of his game was like the same language that I wanted to make a game in. I mean, I don't mean like literally the language like English or whatever. I just mean like the flow of the game, the feel of the game, the variety of the game. I'll tell you what this game is after we release the trailer, just because it's a really cool game. I think people should play it, and I might help them remake it so that it'll be available on more platforms. But the reason that we're succeeding so much right now, you'll see the evidence very soon, is because it's two people, okay, me and this other guy. We both got a lot of skills, and the skills complement each other really well. We have experience, and it all just combines into exactly what I've been trying to do for a long time. Like, it's happening now. And it's just going so smoothly, it's almost unbelievable. Hashtag find Jay's partner. Okay, so oh crap, now people are guessing. I will not comment on the guesses. I don't know if he still cares. We're getting pretty close to releasing it, but I'm surprised by these guesses. Anyway, it's gonna be really cool. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to actually mention in this video. So we have like 2 or 3 more songs left to do, and then, well, that my my coworker has to do, and like 10 more sound effects. The first half of the trailer is all gameplay, and the second half is going to be something else that's like a little more fun. Well, they're both fun, but the second half doesn't actually have to be recorded in game. It's more of like a cutscene. So after I record the gameplay, then my coworker will be doing the artwork for the cutscene. Then we'll be done, and I have to prepare the Steam Greenlight campaign. I have to make a press kit. I think we're gonna get a lot of press. That's the whole point of making this trailer awesome, is because I think people are gonna, when they see the trailer, they're gonna be like, holy shit, this is like my most anticipated game of 2017. So hopefully people will be talking about it. So I have to make like a press kit for the press. I don't want to comment on the person because there's a reason. If actually, he told me he just doesn't want to be bothered right now because he's super busy. I think that's the only reason. Yeah, I think, I can't remember if I mentioned this. All of the characters we showed have been redesigned by my mysterious partner. There's a reason that I'm like surprised, because someone said something in the chat that surprised me a lot. But I will continue on as normal. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but we redesigned all the characters. Not we, I mean the pixel artist redesigned all of them except Ramona, because he really liked the art of Ramona, so she looks the same, but all the other characters are, they just look different. It's not like they're like different characters. They just he just redesigned them, and I think he did a great job. They look really cool. Let me see if there's any other questions. Somebody may have been correct in guessing who I'm working with. So everybody's just talking about that. No other questions. I guess I'm gonna end this for now. I was just saying if there's it's just kind of funny. It's just funny reading. Everybody's just talking about who it could be, and yeah. It's gonna be really cool. I was just making this video because it's been a month since my last one, and I just want to let you know everything's still on track. It takes a little while because we are, in my opinion, we are making something awesome. I think this trailer is going to be so cool, and I think it'll get people excited about the game. It'll get the game on people's mouths, on their fingers typing. We're announcing it with a bang. Hopefully we'll get some good press, and so like Exploding Rabbit will be back to its former glory. It's gonna be a good time. I'm really looking forward to that day when we can release it, and then I'll be looking forward to when we release the game too. But I'm kind of just excited to show people that that we didn't just give up. So I'm just excited to show people this game is real, even though it took us a long time. Super Retro Squad, formerly known as Super Retro Squad, it's still coming, and it's gonna be better than what it would have been, better than what I was doing before. So maybe it all worked out for the best, that now it's just gonna be really cool right away, because again, if I did what I was planning originally, it wouldn't have delivered on what people wanted, and I really truly believe that. I got excited, I got carried away with what I was trying to do, and I do think people would have been disappointed, but I don't think you're going to be disappointed now. I don't think you will. I think you'll be like, this is fucking amazing, this is what I wanted, and it's going to expand people's minds about not what you can do with games. I mean, it's a game, but how, I don't know, how games can interact with each other, and this concept, which I mentioned at first, when you first start watching the first scene, you're gonna think oh, it's just a normal game, and then this weird stuff's gonna start happening. That weird stuff is what I think is really cool about our game. I'm sure that sounds really weird for me to say, because you have no idea what I'm talking about. But the game, it's almost as if the game is aware of itself. Anyway, I think I will end on that. Let me just see real quick. I'll just check if there's any comments I should respond to. Okay, someone said, I like the old designs, but I trust your judgment. I thought the old designs were pretty good, but I guess now that I've seen the new ones, I like the new ones better. Okay, and like I said, it's like if the old designs were cool, like he kept Ramona. He loved Ramona. He's like, man, this Ramona sprite. He's like, it's so cool. And I was like, well, maybe you should change it anyway because they're changing the others. He's like, no. He's like, no, I will keep this one the same because he really liked it. So it's not like we changed them just for the sake of changing them. It's just we thought, or I want this guy I'm working with. I want his vision to be communicated. So it's like it's his vision and my vision together. So he had a different interpretation of what those characters would look like. So it's a different person's interpretation, and they're redesigned so that it's more cohesive. So okay, yeah. Steam is going to be the first platform, but then we'll be doing other platforms after that. Okay, so I guess we're good, and it's not about breaking the fourth wall, by the way. That's not what it is. Okay, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. I look forward to releasing this trailer and making this game and sharing my vision with you.